Good morning, St. Francis. Good morning, people of God. It is Friday, the 30th day of May, 2025. It is Friday of the 6th week of the Easter, the day after Ascension Thursday here in Italy. It is the 41st day of the Easter season, and today we do some work in Laverna, the place where the stigmata had with our Holy Father St. Francis experienced the stigmata. Various elements of the shrine around me here. It's a very nice day to be able to be up here. So it's we're very, very, very lucky to have this time. So just a view, and the bells are ringing because it's I think 10:45. But just take a look at the glorious valley that is below here at Laverna. And here you can see the church that was built. This is not the place where the stigmata happened. That is down this way a little bit over here. But as the bells are ringing and things like that, you can hear me. The readings for today on this 41st day of the Easter season. Paul is in Corinth experiencing some trouble with, unfortunately, some of the Jewish community that does not want him preaching these strange ideas about Christ and things like that. And so they bring him before the proconsul of Achaia, who was Gallio. And Gallio says to the Jews, again, as many other magistrates have said to the Jewish people who've had trouble with Christians, this is a religious matter and not a civic matter. You handle it yourselves. And so the Jewish authorities, I guess, beat up one of the members of Paul's cohort, Sosthenes, I think his name is, kind of in their anger. But Paul is able to stay in the city of Corinth for about a year and a half or so to continue preaching. And basically, he has a vision in which God says, I will protect you. Do not worry about this. Do what you need to do in Corinth to spread the gospel and the good news. And so Paul does that. He also takes a vow as a Nazarite. It doesn't necessarily mean a person from Nazareth, but it's a vow that basically says that you're going to dedicate yourself to God for a particular time, in a special way. And so that's what Paul does, in some ways. And so the thing is, again, not to ever be dissuaded by the fact that some things do not work out, as well in the spreading of the gospel. The gospel still is spread, and that is what is important, and that's what matters always as we continue to move through the remainder of this Easter season with the Acts of the Apostles. In John's gospel, again, Jesus says that you're all going to, Jesus, in predicting his passion, you're all going to move to grief, and the world will rejoice, it seems, because of your grief. And that's because it seems as though Christ is taken away and the master is gone. But don't worry that your grief will be turned to joy. Again, do not be misled by what the world sees and understands as the end all and be all. But basically that these are things that happen, but God always is victorious in the end. Something perhaps important to remember, again, as we move through this remainder of this Easter season, it's like, where is God constantly at work, and where must we see God constantly at work, so we do not lose sight and do not lose hope, again, that God is always victorious in everything and in all things. This isn't just something for the Easter season. This is something for us to live, in all times and places, in every moment of our life, to remember this, to allow it to take root in our lives, and allow that witness and that trust and providence that God knows what God is doing and that God will always be victorious. Help us to be signs and witnesses, again, of this presence of God that continues in the world today. And so from the glory and the wonder of Laverna, the place where St. Francis experienced the stigmata, may the Lord continue to give you a blessed Easter season, and may the Lord give you his peace.